If you are a small business owner, you know how expensive it is to get embroidered apparel. Well, after today's video, I'm going to show you how to save some money. All right, come with me, and I'm going to show you what I do to save some money when it comes to my business apparel. We're going out to the kitchen because we're doing some crafting. Right, as many of you know, if you've shopped work apparel and you're a small business owner, let's say you only have you or less than a few other people inside of your business, getting embroidered apparel can be really expensive. So for example, like I had this hat, I had to digitize this logo, and this isn't even our full logo. I had to digitize this logo. It was $40 digitized. Then I had to buy the hat. Then I had to pay to get the hat embroidered. Well, guess you don't even want to know how much this hat was. I only got two other hats because it's just me. I'm the only one that wears hats. And so I don't need 20 hats, and I'm not giving these hats away in my business. Same with my apparel. I like to, we're a travel agency, so sometimes I get to wear t-shirts or polos or sweatshirts, and I don't need everything embroidered. Embroidery can be what, 14 extra dollars on top of a $45 sweatshirt, so that can get pretty expensive pretty quick. So today I'm going to show you how you can save some money. Do is I'm going to heat up our Cricut. Now the Cricut needs to get to about 310 degrees minimum. Sometimes, depending on the material of the sweatshirt or shirts, you might need to get a little hotter or you need to get a little cooler. So things that are sensitive, nylonies, you can't get that hot. You're going to scorch your material. Where cottons, sometimes like this cotton sweatshirt, it needs to be 320 degrees or 325 to really start to get this to be pressed in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in and turn on our Cricut. Now a Cricut, if you don't know, is just a big iron. Okay, it's just giant and big. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can use a regular iron, and that'll work just fine. Now, on bigger DTFs, you're going to have to make sure you're moving that iron around a lot, and so that you get even wear on that DTF, so it adheres really well. So what you can see, this is starting to heats up pretty fast. And so in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to move back over and we're going to get our DTF sheet. We've cut it out off of our gang sheet. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place this where we want. Now, you can use thermal tape to tape this down in place. And you also want to get yourself, I don't remember what this is called, but I did get it off of Ninja DTF. And this just makes sure that we're not scorching our material. And that'll go down over this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to eyeball. Now there are rulers you can use, but I'm one to eyeball things. Yeah, we're going to call that good. What do you think, Quinn? You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so what we're going to do is put that in its place. I'm going to put our sheet over the top. Now we're going to make sure everything is laid nice and flat. Now, sometimes what you can do is run your Cricut or your iron over this area first before you use your DTF. That way it really pulls the moisture out of your material, and then you can go. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and lay this down. And once we get up to temperature, we're going to go ahead and start this application. Okay, so now our heat press is up to temperature. We have everything in place. One of the things you want to make sure is when you're doing your heat press that you don't have any edges. You want that heat press to be flush and flat to your material. It'll distribute the heat evenly that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off and we're going to let this stay on there for 15 seconds. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're taking our heat press, we're just going right over the top, and I'm going to press my timer, and I'm going to press down. So nice and firm. Depending on your material, you're going to want to be very careful because you're going to start to see some scorching if you go too long, too quick. All right, so that's our first time. We're going to take that off. We're just going to take this off. Now I can guarantee you that typically isn't enough. Ooh, almost though. Almost. Let's see. Yeah, see down here, it's not coming off yet. So what we're going to do, although that was really good there, we're going to lay this back down and we're going to go for another 15 seconds. And what we're going to do is we're just going to keep doing this small increments of time until that DTF has had enough. Okay. And sometimes what I like to do is come in from other angles. Whew, it is hot though. Okay, so that's coming off. And just like that, it's on. Now, what's most important here, once you've pulled that off, you want to put your sheet back over, and we're going to go for another 14 seconds. Now, this one is going to make sure that that DTF is adhering and permanent to the material. This is what makes it last the longest. Okay, so now we've pressed it again, and you can see it's one piece. And it's on there, and it looks really good. There it is. And just like that, we got our first sweatshirt.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You've got a lot of new shirts. You can film them all.
Mm-hmm. Like that?
Yeah, because look at, if we move this right like that, it'd be the same.
Okay. Okay.
Does anyone else want to hold this?
I can hold it. I need to eat. I haven't eaten.
Can I use your phone now?
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just around the block.
I know.
That's it.
I know.
Yeah. And then what? Do you have a leg pocket?
I do.
Yeah. So get your songs going and then put it in there. Okay.
And just like that, we now have new work apparel. And we designed it all on our own with approved logos.